Naughty Dog shared an image of the new Last of Us game. Stephen Amell is returning as Green Arrow, and Jeremy Renner is in the hospital. All this and more coming up on the Weekly Slate. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Slate. I'm your host, James Ewing. First up on the show in television news, Hulu dropped a trailer this week for a new series called Koala Man. Being spearheaded by Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame and John Cusack of Smiling Friends fame. The two madmen have crafted an equally mad story about a father who dresses as a koala and wears a cape while fighting crime. The trailer features a cavalcade of wild imagery from a drunken Santa, ostriches firing machine guns and fighting in what appears to be a war, and Hugh Jackman's character making out with a giant fish. Jackman also made headlines this week when he may have leaked the title of the new Deadpool film, which he said is called Wolverine and Deadpool. But as for Koala Man, you can catch that when it premieres on Hulu on January 9th. Film news, grab your chainsaws and brush up on your ancient Sumerian because the first trailer for Evil Dead Rise is finally here. The new film is set to act as a continuation of the film franchise while telling a whole new story in a whole new setting. Campbell has opted out of a starring role, but will remain an executive producer, and Lee Cronin is set to write and direct. For the first time since Army of Darkness, the film will not take place inside of the infamous cabin. A cabin on the lake is shown in the trailer, but it looks much different than the ones that fans have come to know. For the most part, it appears that the film takes place in a high-rise apartment building as a family tries to fight off a family member turned deadite. Just like the other films, someone has found the book and for whatever reason has decided to read from it out loud. But I guess we couldn't have a horror movie without some dumb kids to kick it off. Be sure to catch the deadites hitting the big city when Evil Dead Rise releases in theaters on April 20th of this year. Video game news, a new Last of Us game had a piece of concept art released this week. Naughty Dog shared this image ahead of the 10th anniversary of the first game, which happens this June. There isn't much to report on this topic at the moment, but the same post did promise that we would get more information on the game later this year, perhaps on the actual anniversary in June. Little to nothing is known about this game, aside from the fact that it is going to be a multiplayer experience. It is believed that the game will play similarly to the multiplayer in the first game. Naughty Dog co-president had this to say on the game. The project is shaping up to be a fresh new experience for our studio, but one rooted in Naughty Dog's passion for delivering incredible stories, characters, and gameplay. If this doesn't scratch your The Last of Us itch, then worry not because the TV series is premiering on January 15th on HBO Max. Marvel news, Dave Bautista confirmed in an interview with GQ this week that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be his last time playing the character of Drax. He stated, "I'm so grateful for Drax. I love him, but there's a relief that it's over. And I just don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance and I want to do more dramatic stuff." Many have theorized that Drax will die in the third film, and this interview certainly gives weight to those claims. Bautista has been open for a while about the fact that he wants out of the MCU. And so this doesn't come as too much of a surprise for fans. He has been branching out in recent years, starring in Army of the Dead, the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion, and is set to star in a new Shyamalan movie titled Knock at the Cabin. How do you feel about this shift for Bautista? Let us know down in the comments. DC news, as Marvel loses one hero, DC is seeing the brief return of another. Stephen Amell hyped up fans this week when he shared the first official look at him back in the character of Green Arrow for the final season of The Flash. His show kicked off an entire DC television universe and introduced audiences to Grant Gustin's Flash. He won't be the only one returning in this final season, as it has also been confirmed that Keenan Lonsdale will be returning as Wally West. As The Flash comes to a close, it's nice to see that Amell will get to play this character one last time. The Arrowverse as a whole seems to be coming to an end as shows are getting canceled left and right as DC ramps up for Gunn and Safran's new vision of a united media front. You can catch the final season of The Flash when it premieres February 8th on the CW. Other Marvel news, fans were shocked to learn this week that Jeremy Renner was admitted to the ICU after a bad snowplow accident. While out plowing snow, Renner noticed that somebody was stranded in their car, and he hopped out of his snowplow to help. While attempting to help the person, his snowplow began to move on its own and ultimately ran him over. According to a report by TMZ, the plow ran over his legs as well as other parts of his body. Luckily, a nearby neighbor, who is also a doctor, saw the incident and immediately came to his aid, applying a tourniquet to stop the blood until paramedics could arrive. He was then airlifted to the hospital where he is still currently staying. The actor is now in stable condition, awake, and sharing videos of his recovery. He shared a video thanking people for their worry and their support, and today shared a video of him and his family. His snowplow is currently impounded as authorities investigate what happened that day. His snowplow should not have been able to move on its own, so they are trying to figure out what caused this incident. We here at Culture Slate hope for a speedy and full recovery for Renner. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date with Culture Slate content. You can also join our public Discord where we discuss all things Star Wars, Marvel, and just all things pop culture related. We are officially back from our holiday break, so be sure to tune in here every week to stay cultured with the Weekly Slate.